Back in the first half of the 20th century, the British government was thinking about enacting a law for the cause of eugenics, imposing sterilization for those deemed unfit. Until G.K. Chesterton came along, the great British Catholic philosopher, and he wrote an essay on eugenics and all of its evils. And that essay would be read by members of parliament. And it would be influential on those members of parliament who would then say no, nay to the law that would have enacted eugenic policy. The British, for the most part, the British parliamentarians, for the most part, were against eugenics. They became against eugenics thanks to the influence of Chesterton. Today, the British have a law essentially stating, not essentially, I mean, they're stating, there's no beating around the bush here. The British have a law that says you can have an abortion up until birth, as long as the child is retarded. If the child has Down syndrome, you can have an abortion up until birth. That's very, very late into a pregnancy. The child is practically fully developed by then. Eugenics is already here. It's already here. And as the world becomes more Darwinistic, as it becomes more nationalistic, as it becomes more race-obsessed, such ideas, such policy could be used as a foundation for something even worse. Because if they can say you can murder the child up until birth when it's practically fully developed as a fetus, as long as the child has Down syndrome or is mentally handicapped somehow, then they can then argue, well, why can't we do the same thing to someone when they're outside the womb? And that is very dangerous. I don't need to be an ethicist or a professor of ethics to understand this. When you start saying things like, well, you can kill a child if it's retarded only up until birth. That's okay. You can kill the child up until birth as long as it's mentally unfit. That is eugenics. We already see eugenic policy in the Western world. Remember, a number of years ago, there was that case where it was a Nigerian woman, and she was told, well, she was unfit to have a child. She has to have an abortion. She tried to fight against it. That happened in Great Britain. So you already see the foundation built for eugenic policy, social Darwinistic policy that could be imposed on people who are already born. Well, since we kill them when they're practically developed in the womb, I mean, why not just do it outside the womb, right? Is it just about the location? Is it like real estate, location, location, location? Should we then just focus on what happens in the interior of the woman's body? Why can't we do it outside? What's the big deal? If the child is 0 years old and is retarded, and the mother has decided that she does not want to have this child after she has given birth to the child, why not exterminate its life? Why not terminate its life? What's the big deal? We already see eugenics, everybody. It's here. Anyway, you guys just heard some theology. God bless.